We're finally getting to the point where there's too many facial interfaces now, and we need to talk about a bunch of them to help you decide which one is best for you. So I actually went on Amazon and I bought a couple more. Apex now has a facial interface and a wider facial interface, which we're also gonna open up and compare to all these. And I even grabbed an Elite strap because I don't wanna only compare them with Halos, because Halos just make it so comfortable that pretty much any facial interface you can get away with. Let's test them out. All right, we got regular. I'm gonna have to try to not mix these up too. Hopefully it's pretty clear which one's which. Regular one comes in a big baggie, comes with a lens cover and a couple different face pads. Normally one's thicker than the other, but these really look the same. This is not the wider one. Initially, I feel like trying this one out, I don't feel like I'm gonna need the wider one. Same thing, you get a lens cover, but you only get one pad. Okay, these are actually, the one very clear difference right off the bat. One is way taller than the other one. So that's actually nice for Elite straps, potentially if it fits your face, because it means it helps distribute the weight more. So it gives you a little bit of that halo effect. Okay, when they say wider, did they actually mean taller? Because like the amount of temple touch it's doing right now doesn't really feel any different. I'm gonna use a really scientific method here. Head them down and eyeball them. The problem is when it comes to something that's this close, even how the padding is Velcroed on can make a difference. But I am gonna declare that those are the same facial interface except for how tall the forehead pad is. And that's probably why they don't give you two forehead pads, because this one's taller, maybe costs are higher because of that, because of the way it's manufactured, but essentially they couldn't just send you another one of these because you need this tall pad. It's got a system like the stock one. It looks like to extend it out for glasses. It's hard to tell, it feels like it has a lot of points of adjustability actually. We'll see how easy that is to use when it's actually on a Quest. Now, I think actually I'm gonna have to switch to an Elite strap too, because I think this wide, tall one just really wouldn't work with a strap like this because it's just gonna be too tall. I mean, even if I extend that out maximum, what's happening is that extra height is just not letting this get anywhere near going into there. So we'll try the not wide. That wide thing is really gonna bug me. It really should have been called tall in my opinion, but that one fits, but even like the AMVR one, it's not a great fit. It's tall. This is really meant for Elite straps, I'm gonna say. The light bleed is real, but I'm trying to figure out why. It's partially the vents, but that's not the main culprit. Elite strap investigation time. I luckily have this little tabby I stole from something so that it makes it easier to take Elite straps on and off. Otherwise you have to really fish it down there. It's just kind of a pain. Well, at least I'm not getting the light bleed on this one. Anybody who has a bigger nose than mine, like my nose is touching every edge inside of here right now. I'm not gonna subject you to a camera shot up the nose, but like I feel this thing all around my entire nose. And you don't notice that when you put on a Halo, but then the moment you put it on an Elite strap and you have to crank it down to your face like you do with Elites, it doesn't feel good. So without the pad, do you see how little distance there is there from my nose? And I'm not someone with an oversized nose, I don't think. So that's a warning sign for a lot of people that you're probably gonna have issues with that. And we saw that with some of the early facial interfaces we tested. Even in the reviews on Amazon themselves, people were like, this didn't fit my nose at all and I hate it. Okay, I switched to the not wider, again with the Elite strap. So the light bleed did have to do with the Halo strap. Having on the Elite, it's completely isolated. It's dark. I mean, if I try, I can get a tiny bit of light bleed through the vents up here, but it's very, very minor. I don't know if they have a plan to do so, but the vents, the way they're designed, look like there should be a fan for this, because it looks like a fan would click in on top of here, just like the Quest 2 Bobo VR F2 one did. It was the same kind of holes. All right, let's see. It's not as easy as you might like it to be, but I don't think that's the fault of the facial interface itself. That's the fact that it's so tight inside the Quest in here that it does take some significant pressure. Hot swap back to a stock interface. Boy, it's been a while since I've rocked the stock interface for any real length of time because I have my custom one now, and I thought putting the stock one back on it would be more comfortable than it is. Initial impression, the wider or the less wide, both for my face shape are a little more comfortable than the stock one. I personally preferred the stock one with a silicone cover over it as well. Boy, you just don't notice all the pressure points as much until you've used a custom one that's built for your face for a while, and then all of a sudden you put one of these on, you go, wow, I've got pressure points here and here. And not like a lot of people get the whole brow, it's like the edges of my skull. I think if you were to get this one, the wide one would benefit you the most because it is creating a much bigger landscape for it to spread out the pressure over your face. But we're gonna go play around, play some games, test them both real quick, and get back at you with some final thoughts here. My early impressions though are if you if you have much of a nose, it's probably a no-go for you anyways. But let me go test and we'll come back. Apex in a wider and regular facial interfaces. $19. There is a coupon that would save you a little extra, but 19 shows as the stock price. 26 for this one, even though it's less plastic and just one extra face pad. That was kind of an odd choice there. For me personally, I wouldn't use either of these because I prefer halo straps on my headsets, and these both get in the way of the halos. So for me personally, it's a no-go. For people out there who do like an Elite strap, are using the stock facial interface, have a small nose, and find that with the stock one, they get a bad forehead line, the wider one could be an upgrade. I feel the pressure points less, at least on my face shape. It does feel more comfortable, and then it does help spread some of that out up top, which I do like that about it. I can't find any confirmation that there is a fan coming anywhere. I haven't heard from Apex about that. It does really make me wonder, by the way this looks, if there's possibly some sort of fan coming though, because it really doesn't look like these are meant to be just vents. Like you can see, I mean, you can see right through them. That's not really indicative of a vent usually, because they don't want that because of the light bleed. That's usually indicative of a fan that's gonna go on top, which would make me say this is probably a bit better because I really do like fans on it. The slide gear on it feels kind of cheap, but it's kind of bad on everything. Except for this facial interface, this was the only one where I really liked the gear they put on. This is a solid design there. Although this facial interface overall, I wasn't in love with the feel of it. So it's there. It gives you the option, at least for people with glasses, you can move it in and out quickly. Pretty easy to adjust. It's even easier, I'd say, than the stock facial interface. So it's a recommend to a very niche audience. Like I said, your nose size could get in the way. After testing it out, I did go look at the Amazon reviews on it. It's got a good score of a 4.8, so a lot of people are enjoying it. So I will leave a link to Amazon, but with those caveats. And ultimately, this one's more expensive, and I don't see any better purpose of this because neither one really works with the halo. So I'm not gonna recommend the non-wider, but the wider one, if you are in that situation, it could be good for you. I would just say get it on Amazon because you got free returns. So maybe you find out it doesn't fit your nose nicely, there's something you don't like about it, return it, get something else. For me personally, I'm still rocking the Oblique custom one. This is made custom off of a 3D face scan you do with an iPhone. They actually, I believe today actually, they're supposed to be their newer design, which can come in black. It has vents on it. That is supposed to be at the PO box for me. So there will be something coming on that soon as well. The problem with this one is it's expensive. But now that I've had this for a while, trying any facial interface, even a comfortable one, they just never do it quite right, because once you have this thing that just fits your face so perfectly that it'll even sit on your face, when it's made for you, how could it be any better? But what do you think? Are you still rocking the stock one? Are you okay with it? Did you silicone it like I did to make it feel a little better for you for a little bit longer, or just to be more hygienic? That is something about these pads, although they say they're breathable and stuff, because of all those little holes in them, they will soak up more sweat. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll talk with you more there. Thank you once again for being here with me, and I'll see you in another reality.